and welcome to this presentation where I'm going to be talking to you about accelerating your projects using Naviate. My name is Bettool Jabur and I'm the Naviate Technology Manager for Architecture globally. By trade, I'm a chartered architectural technologist with over 11 years industry experience. I've worked within the field of BIM and information management. I've utilized software such as Revit, BIM 360 and ACC, and most recently, I'm looking within our own technology at Symetri Tech and how we can improve and utilize our day-to-day tools. So let's take a look at the agenda for today then. We are going to look to see what Naviate actually is and the top 5 main features of one of Naviate's products called Accelerate. So you might ask yourself, well, what is Naviate? A lot of people will say, well, it's a plugin. It's an addition to our existing Autodesk Revit platform. But actually, there's more to it. There's a community behind how Naviate is produced. It's produced with the customer in mind, but also looking at how we can develop things from a developer's perspective. Okay, so let's take a look. It basically accelerates project documentation, optimizes workflows and BIM processes, and it's a pre-configured solution. So there's no need to learn how to script or to utilize Dynamo or any other platforms. In a nutshell, Naviate enhances BIM processes so that we can just concentrate on design once again. Okay, so now we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 most utilized features within Naviate Accelerate. At number 5, what we have is color elements. And within color elements, what we can do is select a category and whether we want to filter it by instance or type parameters, and then we can basically look at it but resembled by a different color. So in this case, I'm looking at the sill height parameter and I can see that there's 3 different colors populated when I was only expecting 1. I was expecting all of my window sills to be the same. So this is a way for me to then go in, select those windows that are incorrect, and then I can just move that dialog box out the way and adjust the parameters instantly within the properties palette. That's one use case for why I would utilize this particular tool. When I refresh, I can now see they're all in this amber color and they're all okay in terms of windowsill height. That's one particular case. If you develop fire plans, this will be really useful for you. You can just develop your fire plans very quickly and adjust the colors. But in this case, I'm going to show you how we can go in and adjust and create wall type colors. So here we've just generated wall type colors. Our show elements and properties is switched on. And as we can see, as we're panning around this particular drawing, we can see the different colors that are representing the different wall types that are within the plan. Okay, so once that's been generated, if I want to add view filters, I can to the current template. Or if there's no template assigned to this, then what I need to do is go in and utilize some Revit functionality. I could go in and create a template from the current view, call it whatever I want to call it, so walls by type in this instance, and then I can go in and see this representation in a different view. So in this case, I'm a designer. I like my 3D. I like to see how things are going to work. I'm just going to temporarily apply that template to this particular view. So walls by type, and then I want to go in and see what it looks like in plan. So in plan, but 3D. So we can match the 2D with the 3D and understand what exactly is happening. So sometimes your walls can go rogue maybe. So maybe the walls around the staircase isn't quite what you expected. Maybe it's not the fire rating of what you expected. This is a good way to analyze what exactly you have within your projects. At number 4, what we have is Sheet Manager. Now there's so much that we can go through with Sheet Manager, but I'm only going to show you a couple in here. So we've got create views, scope boxes. Okay, so here we can go and create some views that we want to generate for any floor levels that we want and to the plan type that you want as well, but they will be picked by a scope box. Okay, so once we create that, Naviate will tell me how many has been created. So in this case, it's 24 views have been created successfully. Following that, I can now have a look at my project browser, whereby I can see my master plan being created and the subcategories of that, which is the scope boxes that was created. So I can check for my level 1, my level 2, my level 3, and I can move across to my ceiling plans and just double check that they have been created because that's what I wanted to generate. And so now I can see that everything has been generated. If I want to go in and create a quick dependent plan, because now I want to create it for something else, I can select something in the project browser, then go directly to say quick dependent views, and it will remember that I want to create something from the scope boxes. And so it's just generated scope box drawings for me. Okay, creating sheets. We've got all of these views. They all need to go onto a sheet now. And so to create them onto a sheet, we need to just go into select the levels, and then we need to go in and view which views we want, and then we can see what parameters we want to add. Now in here, this is really good because we can see who the designer is. We can kind of copy all of that information across. We've got Excel functionality in here, which is brilliant. It means you're pre-populating what the names of your sheets are going to be, etc. But the sheet number, this is really cool because as you copy everything down, we can say actually fill increment. So it will rename it for you. So or renumber it for you in the way that you want, and we can specify whereabouts we want to place it. You can include legends and include schedules as well if you wanted to. Okay, once we hit create, 24 sheets were successfully created. Naviate is constantly telling you what it's about to do so that you can finally sign that off. And then we can just take a look at it and what it looks like in our project browser. So we can see C001, we've got our plan C002, we've got our scope box plan. And of course, if you've got your template applied, it will look exactly how you want. And at number 3, we have the family browser. So the family browser here is basically another visual tool. You can have all of your libraries set up, you've got access to them straight away, and it will remember where you've set up your libraries from. In this particular case, I'm selecting a door, and then when I have a look down within that door property types, we can see what exactly has been, what exactly is going to come into your project. So in this particular case, it says not loaded. But if I select on another door that is loaded in the project, we'll see in green that it says loaded within your project. Okay, now let's go furniture shopping. So if I filter for sofa, we can see the sofa being populated here. I can just drag and drop that particular item into my floor plan. If I wanted to drag something that was already existing, that's okay. Even if it's existing, we can still bring it into the floor plan. Okay, now let's look for a table. So within this particular example, I'm going to scroll down, select the table. I can see what parameters I'm about to bring in, and then I can place it into my plan. So this dialog box is actually expandable if you wanted to expand it, and we can reduce it down, or we can just focus in on the 3D objects if we don't want to focus in on the parameters that we're about to bring in. And that's our family browser. And at number 2, very close to the end now, this is where we publish. So this is where you've done all the hard work and you just need to churn your drawings out. We can save a setting. So in this particular case, we've got DWGs, IFCs, PDFs, NWCs, etc. that you can put in here. And we can pre-configure this. So we can go in and say, this is the setup that I want for my 3D. Or for my IFC, etc. And I've got a global path. So basically all of these files are going to be going to one particular folder because that's what I chose to do. Okay, so we have that there. Once we go in and hit publish, it will tell us, do you want to save these items, these settings for the next time? Then we say yes. And then if you've got anything that's already in there, it will tell you, do you want to overwrite the existing? Then we can say yes and apply that to all. We have a Naviate progress bar as well, so to let you know how things are going. And once complete, it will give you feedback as to your exported items that you have chosen from within your settings. And that is how we can publish items. And if we take a look across in Family Explorer, we can open up some of those PDFs, see the views that we've exported, and we can view our IFCs as well. And if we scroll further down here, we can see the DWGs have been placed in here as well. Okay, and finally, at number 1, we have filter elements. And this is where we can go in and filter elements within our project. Now, this can be several, this can be 1, this can be 2, this can be many. So once you've chosen what you want and what subcategory you want, you can now choose what property you want to filter out from your project. So in this example, I've gone to Windows again, and I can see that I want to select all of my windows on level 3 and save this setting. Okay, so if I say select element, we'll notice that all of my windows on level 3 have been selected. Okay, so now when we maneuver around this, we can go in and we can say quick filter elements, and we can see our our saved settings are there. Okay, select elements. They are all selected on the correct level as we wished. Okay, so that was the top 5 Naviate Accelerate features for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/@Naviate.